Motor skills refer to moving your body in a controlled method. The nervous system tells the brain what to do, and the brain then tells the muscles what to do. Motor skills receive the stimulation and perceive that stimulus. However, when senses are impaired or sensory issues occur, motor skills might be delayed because the stimulation cannot be received. The quality of the environment, basic needs being met, culture, and development all dictate the speed of the message. This highlights yet again the importance of a quality early childhood program, as well as the deep impact that parents and guardians have on their child's development. Motor skills involve both fine motor skills and gross motor skills. Typically, there's a defined sequence that neurotypical children follow for both gross motor and fine motor skills. The earliest motor skills involve reflexes, which are primitive responses. Reflexes include rooting, sucking, the Moro reflex, also known as the startle response, tonic neck, which is turning your head to one side while reaching the arm on the same side. Number 5 is grasping. Number 6 is stepping. Number 7 is twitching, which is moving the hips from side to side when the spine is touched. Number 8 is tonic labyrinth, which is back arching. And number 9 is asymmetrical tonic reflex. So it means that the arms and the legs are extending to the same side that the neck is turned, while the other side stays flexed. Generally by age 5, children have they've accomplished all these motor skills, and they're simply working on refining their motor skills. Motor skills start from the head and go all the way down to the feet. They start inwards and outwards, and then they expand into generic movement. Gross motor skills emerge before fine motor skills emerge. Eventually, random expenditure of movement ends. And then at some point, children are favoring one side of the body. Having good motor control helps an individual feel confident and coordinated, as well as competent. Motor skills are controlled, coordinated, and sequential. There are 2 types of motor skills: fine motor skills and gross motor skills. Fine motor skills are referring to movement in the eyes, feet, toes, hands, and fingers, where gross motor skills are referring to movements in the trunk, neck, arms, and legs. Fine motor skills are referring to those very small, intricate movements, where gross motor skills are very large and full body movements. In order to promote gross motor skills, children need space that they can access to move and to play. Gross motor skills include sitting, standing, walking, running, jumping, kicking, lifting, riding a bike or a horse, playing sports, swimming, rollerblading. These activities are often naturally performed by children when outside. You can encourage these activities by enrolling in age-appropriate sport groups, dancing as a family, and hiking or walking together. Even if you don't have a backyard, you can find opportunities for gross motor skills by enrolling in a quality early childhood program and by frequent trips to the park or to the woods. Generally speaking, fine motor skills, block play, small toys, songs with movement or finger play, and creating with chalk, crayons, and scissors are all ways of promoting fine motor skills. Older children may also enjoy lacing cards, lacing beads, lacing buttons, nuts and screws, geoboards. Children need time to practice these activities repeatedly, so it can be really important to have novelty. It could be something as simple as switching out the tray, basket, or container that those items were in. So writing is a fine motor skill that is often a very interesting topic of concern, maybe even contention to parents and educators. Writing is a fine motor skill that involves a very sequential order for neurotypical children. Children first start by making very accidental marks, dots, random marks. And then you start to see very controlled lines and marks emerge. After that, you might see shapes and letters that are very reminiscent of letters. Eventually, you start to see actual letters emerge. They're probably very scrunched together or maybe at random spots in the paper. And then children start to copy letters that they're seeing, and eventually they work on spelling things phonetically before spelling words correctly. In order to encourage pre-writing skills, sponges, pouring, and items to squeeze or pick up with both pincher and pincer graphs should be offered and utilized. We see this in many Montessori programs. Although the end goal in writing sequences is clear, there are so many skills that are used as precursors to clear and effective writing. Another fine motor skill that is somewhat of a concern, sometimes contentious to parents and educators, is snipping or cutting. Snipping and cutting is a very challenging skill because it involves bilateral coordination, body and shoulder stabilization, sensory feedback, and dexterity in the wrist, the thumb, and the hand. So a lot of skills are involved. And sometimes we think of cutting as cutting out a shape, but before that happens, children are first going to tear a paper with some help and then by themselves. Next, they can make little snips in paper. After that, they can cut strips of paper. Eventually, they can cut a piece of paper in half. Then they can cut on a straight line. Next, they can cut a corner or an angle. Finally, a curved line, and then cutting out a circle, and finally cutting out shapes. So many skills are involved in cutting shapes and other shapes other than circles. Children with special needs may have motor skill delays and need physical therapy intervention due to muscle tone defects, challenges with controlling their muscles, and problems with muscular strength. Intervention can then focus on developing those functional skills to allow the child to be active in their homes, in their schools, and in their communities. Physical therapists can explain the diagnosis. They can assess skills in development. They can show proper handling and positioning, as well as giving adaptive equipment to support the child. Intervention should really be woven into an early childhood program, and it is often the teacher in the early childhood program that kind of serves as the coordinator to make sure that all those services are happening and that everyone is working on the same page. In order for this to happen, it's really crucial for regular staff training to occur. We often think of a child's development as to when a child can tie their shoes, when they can write, when they can read, when they can dress themselves, when they can feed themselves. But there are so many fine motor skills and gross motor skills that are acting as prerequisites to those traditional academic skills and life skills. Motor skills, which include fine motor skills and gross motor skills, work together in a typical sequence for neurotypical children. Parents, educators, and when needed, physical therapists can and should work together to create simple and engaging opportunities to grow those motor skills.